Hey everybody, it's Dave. How you all doing? I'm doing pretty good for a Tuesday. Been a crazy bad weekend, very bad weekend. Um, Meniere's wise, and no, I had no vertigo. Had everything else, but I caught a cold. So you know how colds are; they exacerbate Meniere's disease. But I'm doing better, so just tired. But I want to talk about people. A lot of people are talking about recovery time from surgeries, and unfortunately, everybody's different. Just like with everything else with this disease, what works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. What works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for somebody else. So we're all different, even when recovery time comes for surgeries. Now, I had a labyrinthectomy in this year in 2019. Um, and the recovery on this, for some people, they said, oh, a couple of weeks, a month. It was almost about 2 months, 2 to 3 months, before I actually even felt comfortable going out and doing something by myself or even driving a car. Back then, it was really, it wasn't that good. And there was some vertigo that went with it, and that's normal because the brain, everything's readjusting itself. So in the labyrinthectomy, for me, it was a couple of months. And I remember it because it's when my oldest boy got married, and I didn't even know if I was going to make the wedding. And I did. I went to the wedding. I didn't drive, but I went to the wedding, and I made it through it with the help of, a cane and sitting and not doing much, but just sitting back and relaxing. So, yeah, that labyrinthectomy was, it took a while. Now, we fast forward to 2025. I'm now been diagnosed bilateral. It's in my right ear. Tried everything, just like I did with the right ear. Nothing. So went the surgical route again. I had sac decompression surgery. Now, when I had this surgery, it was the same thing was applying. People were saying, oh, it takes a month, a couple of weeks, a month. 4 days later, I was out fishing. I had no vertigo whatsoever after the surgery. I had a vertigo attack the day before the surgery, but I had nothing after. Nothing until I think it was like about February. I had a 20-minute attack. That was about it. So that whole year I had one attack. But yeah, it was like 3 or 4 days later. I'm fine. I'm driving, went fishing. I was having a ball. Um, and then 2 months later, I had my cochlear surgery in this year. Now, back in 2019, there were surgeons who did not do the cochlear and the labyrinthectomy at the same time. When they do a labyrinthectomy today, they tend to do the cochlear at the same time because it's open, and you go deaf from it anyways. So they tend to do it together. So I had the cochlear implant surgery done, and that was the same as the right. It was maybe 4 or 5 days I was out fishing. I was out driving a car. I was out doing whatever I had to do. I took it easy. I didn't really go cuckoo, like, full brunt, but it was like, 45 minutes, 20 minutes, blah, blah, blah. So, a lot of people, they have the surgery and maybe it takes them longer to recover. So there's no real set time on recovery and no set time on when everything stops, vertigo stops, and this and that, thing. So, and that's because we're all different. We're really all different. And, you can ask, and it's a good question to ask. And people remember, people are going to give you all kinds of different answers. It's not going to be the same. And there are going to be a few people that are going to say, there's going to be some people that are going to say, oh, the best surgery I ever had. I wish I did it long before, blah, 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 blah. I'm kind of like that with this one. And you're going to have people that say, it didn't work for me. It's the same thing. And, it's the same. It's that same thing. Everybody's different. Now, the same thing with beta histine. Okay, beta histine works for a lot of people. Some people it doesn't. Okay? And that's because we're all different, right? So you're going to have people that swear by it, and then you have the people who, it did nothing for me. Okay? But I think some of the people where it did nothing for them, I think they were thinking that they would take the pill and everything would be gone. And it's not like that. It takes a while to get into your system. So some of those people might have been that way. And then you also have these things of people trying to see if other things will work. Like the semaglutide, I can't tell you how many times I see that question, not just in a week or a day. And I don't think people realize what semaglutide is really for. It's for type 2 diabetes. Okay? Now, like with other medications, they found, oh, some people lose weight with it. Now it's become a weight loss drug. With the people who actually really do need it, are having a hard time finding it or getting it because all these people want to lose weight, right? And somehow down the line they found some anti-inflammatory properties with it. So all of a sudden now people think, oh, anti-inflammatory. Okay, maybe it'll help my arthritis. Maybe it'll help my Meniere's when inflammation hits. It's not made for that, and it kind of really doesn't do anything for Meniere's. And I take a semaglutide. I take Ozempic. It has done zero for my Meniere's. I was taking it before I had the shot, before I had the surgery, the sac decompression surgery. It did nothing for it at all, for my Meniere's disease. Now, maybe some people it does, or maybe some people are getting what's called a placebo effect, where they see something or they read something and they think it's going to work for them and they talk themselves into it, and all of a sudden they're noticing things aren't as bad as they thought. It's actually, they think it's helping. That could be a placebo effect, kind of like the habituation I was talking about in my last video, where if you keep yourself busy, you don't really notice a tinnitus. Sometimes it could be almost the same thing. But these drugs are made for diabetes, not made to do that. And if you do research up semaglutide, the AI version will tell you anything you want to know. But when you go into other things like the NIH.gov site, it's going to tell you it does nothing for Meniere's. It's never been tested for Meniere's. So right there, if you're thinking semaglutide might help you, right there, you want to look that stuff up. Even before you ask a question, look it up. Go to NIH.gov. And and the reason why I'm saying this is because I've looked it up, and they've never tested it for Meniere's disease. Okay? And same thing with Epsilon. I mean, if you really looked it up and seen how many things they tried to get this passed for. Now I know the Sun Pharmaceutical seems to have really dialed it in a bit for ear and for the Meniere's disease and tinnitus and all that. But they've been trying to get that passed for diabetes, heart medication, anti-inflammatory, all kinds of different things. And it's never made it beyond what it's made it now for tinnitus and hearing and Meniere's disease. So kudos to Sounds Pharmaceutical if they cracked a formula. That's awesome. But that's what I mean. You got to research. You got to look. Okay, some people aren't doing that. So just remember one thing. We're all different. Even from recoveries of surgeries, we're all basically different. And that's it. That's all I got for today. Kind of tired still. My wife's doing good. She's recovering. It's probably why I'm tired too, because I've been doing grandchildren stuff and taking care of her, but she's doing fantastic. And one more thing before I get off, this one person left me the best compliment I ever heard from a post on YouTube. And I'm going to tell you what she wrote because I burnt it into my brain. It meant that much to me. I love your videos. They're very informative. You do a great job. And it's all without being dramatic. I kind of like that. Because basically, why would I be dramatic? I'm not going to make a video if I'm feeling like shit. Okay, because I know there's channels out there where there's one woman she would only make videos when she felt bad. When she felt sick, when she was having vertigo and doing this, and I don't feel good, and my life is dying, and blah, blah. No. That's not what I'm about. My channel is about helping you make the best decisions, learn from my experiences, learn from my wins, and learn from my losses. It isn't about creating a drama and having people go, oh, I feel so bad for Dave. Oh, he goes through a lot. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not like that. If you read my posts, I don't post that stuff either. So, when I'm not feeling good, I'll tell you like a couple of days later in a video. But I'm not going to make a video while I'm not feeling good. I did it once, and that was just to show somebody what an attack really was like. So on that note, have a great night, and thank you again for that compliment. Talk to you later.